Senior Day, Bobcat Nation Day here in Plymouth as the Bobcats welcome St. Thomas Aquinas for the regular season finale. That's all about playoff stakes and honoring the team's leadership. Plymouth comes in today 7-1, St. Thomas 5-3, and both teams are in the mix for playoff positioning after impressive campaigns here in 2025. Plymouth averaging 43 points per game, while St. Thomas's is averaging 34 per contest this year, each backed by tough defenses that are going to be tested here today. Fans, it doesn't get any better than Senior Day here at Plymouth. An emotional afternoon for the Bobcats senior class and everything on the line before the playoffs here today. I'm Dan Salzer alongside Mike Courier. As always, Royce Preventure, our sideline reporter here for the first time this season. And we look at things, Mike. Both teams have so much to play for. Not only both teams are already in, but it's where you're going to finish. What stands out to you about these two playoff-bound programs?
Well, St. Thomas perennially is a tough team. You never can rule them out. Some years their records show them to be, really, really good. Sometimes they look like a 5-3 record, but they can still come. It's like a rattlesnake. They can bite you at any point in time, and they have a good offense. I've compared some of the scores, and the teams that both St. Thomas and Plymouth have beaten. They've beaten approximately by the same amount of points. The advantage that Plymouth has is that they beat Trinity, to which St. Thomas lost, and they beat Kingswood, and St. Thomas got beat by Kingswood. The Sauhegan beat St. Thomas 47-14, and beat us, Plymouth, 19-9. But I don't think you can look at these numbers and you can try to speculate. But when it comes down to game time, it all goes back to the turnovers, who shows up, and how well they control the game.
We look at things. Royce, what are you hearing from the sidelines? What have you been able to find out going into today's game?
Well, the Bobcats are as excited as ever. It's seniors, so. Seniors going to have a huge part in today's game, and overall, the vibes are immaculate on the sidelines.
Thank you, Royce. Plymouth enters again 7 wins, riding a balanced production. You got obviously Ben Valenti, Kevin Sanborn at the front of this offense. Valenti closing in on 700 yards rushing on the season. Really didn't have much going, didn't play much last Friday night at Merrimack Valley. Wasn't needed in that 35-3 win. He's got 10 touchdowns. Sanborn, obviously a versatile leader, had a couple of passing touchdowns, had a rushing touchdown of his own last week. Still leads Division II in passing touchdowns at 13. Is 8th in the rest of the categories in passing yards and some other stats for Division II. But he's going up against another solid defense, Mike. And what is that going to be like for him here today?
Well, I think that St. Thomas has got pretty good speed overall, and that would indicate that you want to run right at them. In terms of hopefully they're going to mix in a little more passing this week. I think 2 weeks ago they allowed with all the running, they were getting too many people in the box against them, which really kind of stifled the running attack. So I think that Coach Sanborn will probably mix it up a little bit more today, and Kevin Sanborn can throw or run, so that gives us two areas where he is a threat. But we've got Legacy. We've got some of these other guys that are good athletes. The Russo brothers, are good athletes, and the line for Plymouth has been pretty good all season long, offensively and defensively. So I think Plymouth has the edge, and certainly playing at home is an advantage. But again, St. Thomas is not to be counted out.
Talk about St. Thomas. Again, a 5-3 record. This is a team very short on numbers. I think I counted 28 on the roster that we were sent earlier this week. To have a 5-3 season with few numbers like that, this is a gritty team that cannot be counted out today, because not only it's a different scenario from last year when Plymouth was down at St. Thomas in the regular season finale and it was a win and get in situation for the Saints. They're now in. It depends on where they're going to finish, but they have a lot to prove going into the postseason next week.
Absolutely. They're looking at 7 seniors on the squad. Now, with Anthony Saprini is only a sophomore, and I think he's a pretty good player for them. They've got a handful of freshmen and a lot of sophomores. So St. Thomas is going to be okay for the next few years, I think. And as these kids get more maturity and more experience, they're going to be tougher.
And Royce, for you, what have you been able to hear about St. Thomas going into today's matchup?
St. Thomas is overall happy that they've made playoffs. They're looking to kind of continue it and bounce back and just continue on the great season they've had. Back up to you guys.
Thank you, Royce. And Mike, let's take a look at the breakdown of the math here for our viewers. It's not done by record initially, because if you look at that, if Plymouth wins against St. Thomas today, they're going to be virtually tied record-wise, or they will be, with Trinity. Plymouth beat Trinity. Everyone would think, oh, that's the tiebreaker. That's not the case in NHIAA football. It's done off of your points, which is calculated 10 points for a win. You get 2 points for your opponent's wins on this season. Plymouth is mathematically behind and cannot catch Trinity with their win over Bow last night. So Trinity is going to win the East. Plymouth, if they win, will be second in the East and the third seed for the postseason. It's most likely going to be against Kingswood here next week at 1 o'clock. But if you lose, Plymouth drops down to probably the 4 seed and will be hosting Manchester West. So there's a lot going on here. What do you kind of see the outcomes for, Mike?
Well, for some reason, I think they're going to play Kingswood. But Manchester West has had probably one of the best seasons they've had in quite a few years this year. And they're here to stay. I think if I was preferentially, we'll play anybody, but I think that our chances look better against Kingswood than Manchester, and that's partially because we've seen Kingswood already this year, and we haven't seen Manchester West.
With that, we're going to step aside. Senior Day, Bobcat Nation Day. The seniors are getting recognized here today, same with the managers and support staff. So we're going to turn it over to our public address announcer for that at the moment. Be back in just a few minutes, getting ready for the coin toss and national anthem. Regular season finale moments away here on Pemmy Baker TV.
Hussein Osarian. Number 85, Amitai Metwali. Number 86, Eli Ibargwin. Number 63, Aiden Bryant. Number 81, Cooper Mack. Number 33, Blaine Hiltz. Number 38, Cooper Legacy. Number 50, Colin Lane. Number 27, Dominic Ciotti. Number 15, and one of your co-captains, Logan Marsh. Number 23, Captain Ben Valenti. Number 28, Captain Taylor Russo. Number 52, Captain Logan Libby. Thank you to our seniors for their leadership and dedication to our program. Come on, Bobcat fans, let's hear it for the seniors. The officials for today's game: referee Kyle Schofield, umpire Dick Tracy, head linesman Jim Joseph, line judge.
See the captains.
Wood,
congratulations to the seniors on their fantastic careers so far. Not over. Again, playoffs happening next week. Bobcats looking to make another run to the championship game. So, Coach, what's your prediction? I know what it's going to be. Everyone else knows what it's going to be here for the coin toss.
Well, if Plymouth gets the option to take the ball, they're taking it. And I imagine St. Thomas will defer if they win. So let's see if Nostradamus is working today.
Again, thank you to the coaching staff for the Bobcats running our broadcast camera with our limited staff here this season, giving you a great view of the hillside and our team this year at home. So St. Thomas wins the toss. They will defer to the second half. Mike right on cue.
St. Thomas has won the toss.
We'll see what side Plymouth decides to defend here.
Wind right now doesn't seem to be much of a factor. We were thinking it might be today, but I think that it's gusting. So I think from time to time the wind may have an implication for long passes for sure. And kicking.
So with that, Bobcats are going to go left to right across your screen. Teams are fired up. We're going to turn it over to the public address announcer one more time as Pep Band will bring us our national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in honoring America with the playing of our national anthem. Today's national anthem will be performed by the PRHS Pep Band under the direction of Mr. William Gutt.
Great job, as always, by the PRHS Pep Band. Royce, any final thoughts from you before we get underway?
Yeah, well, this afternoon will be a great game between the Saints and the Bobcats, as always. And to mention on the wind, it is chilly down here. No wind, but it is chilly to me. Enjoy the game, guys. Back up to you.
Thank you, Royce.
These Southern kids.
I know, these Southern kids, these Tennessee boys. I know you give me a hard time every time we talk about it, Royce, when it comes to me snow blowing the driveway. But you, a new character to say the least when it comes to weather here in the Northeast.
Well, the older I get, the more I get like Royce.
All right, Saints going to kick off in their road white uniforms, right to left across your screens at home. Bobcats in their traditional navy uniforms, white pants, and will receive left to right. Stone back to receive the kickoff here with Brody Rousseau. Move it over to the far side.
I was going to say they're loaded. They have 6 players to the left of the kicker and 4 to the right.
Bailey White kicking off, a little squib kick, picked up on the far side at the 35 there for the Bobcats. Met Wally with that catch.
I think we're right at the 40, Coach.
And there we go. Bobcats great field position to start their first drive here in week 9 of the season.
I wasn't sure for a second if we were going to see an onside kick or something tricky. That kick, if it had hit somebody in the front line, it was kicked pretty hard. It might have bounced off them. So Plymouth did a good job fielding that and actually getting a couple yards on return.
Bobcats offense going to work. This season, Kevin Sanborn, 35 of 58, 708 yards passing, 13 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Leading the way, Legacy in receptions, 13 catches, 284 yards, 7 touchdowns. Valenti, 673 yards on the ground this year. So potent offenses. This one is off to the races on the first play from scrimmage. And Ben Valenti, who didn't really play last week, goes to the house. 59 yards. Bobcats up 6-0.
don't blink.
Touchdown scored by number 23,
That was a
Ben
backside
Valenti.
fullback up the A gap to the backside, and it was out of a speed sweep formation. It was a great run, wide open. I don't think anybody touched him. And
Well, that's a way to start Bobcat Nation Day and Senior Day here for the Bobcats, for sure.
well, that was quick.
Still looking at my notes, getting the stats off, and there's Valenti going to the house.
That play took 13 seconds.
As the kick is up and good, Bobcats, one play from scrimmage, 7-0 scoreline. Unbelievable start here, Coach.
Well, you know, I think what you're seeing too is I think they are fired up. The Bobcats are fired up today. It's a last home game, regular season, Senior Day. I think also the game that they lost has made them kind of regroup and go, listen, we've got to get a little more going here because we want to go all the way to the ship. And I think that they're going to come out with some real intensity today, and it may be a tough day for St. Thomas.
And you're right. We've talked about it multiple times off air, whether we're going on or end of our broadcast over the course of this season. That loss to Souhegan, yes, Souhegan runs the table. They finished 9-0. They'll have the #1 seed. Congratulations to them. But having that loss has refocused this team. And I think if they pull out the win here today, gives them probably the quote-unquote easiest path to the championship.
Yeah.
Never easy, but quote-unquote easiest path.
Right. Well, you know, anything can happen, but if you play your game and you're consistent and you're not making mistakes, that was a miss.
That's a missed kick.
On that. So it did not go 10 yards.
Yeah, that 4-yard kickoff there, 3-yard.
Yeah, that knocks the heck out of the average.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they were trying to do an onside kick on that and catch him by surprise, but who knows?
That's why we're up here. But nevertheless, Saints with some great field position to start their first drive at the Bobcat 44. And Praney having himself a season, and a flag comes in.
It's interesting, Plymouth's got a 4-man front defensively, but then all their corners and linebackers are all at about 5-yard depth. Nobody up any closer than that.
Except for it's on Plymouth. It's encroachment on the defense.
And that was probably somebody lined up off sides.
Penalty for encroachment.
So that's not going to help Plymouth. And not the way they wanted to start defensively. It's 1st and 5 for the Saints now at the Bobcat 39. So Praney under center again. High formation, handoff coming to the left-hand side for Avery. He's got nowhere to go. A loss of 2 on the play.
Nice job by the defensive end. He stuffed that play. Created a pile-up, and then Plymouth backers came in to mop up.
Late subs for the Saints. Again, a short bench for them this season. Play action. Sabrini rolling to his, or correction, that's Thibodeau rolling to his right. Finds his receiver across the 30 at the 10. Sanchez. And here come the Saints offense.
Well, you got a mobile quarterback, and you've got receivers that have got some pretty good speed and can catch the football. I think if anybody studying film, any team looking at Plymouth is going to realize that the secondary has been inconsistent, and they're going to attack that wherever they can.
Well, doing well here. 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line for the Saints. Avery in the backfield, handoff to him, left side, cuts right back up as gets wrapped up around the 5, and the Saints are threatening to answer right back here early on in the first quarter. So you hear there, Cooper Legacy in on the tackle. About a 7-yard gain.
It was a nice cut by Avery. He started to the left and then cut back up inside and picked up about 70 yards on that.
Saints can still get a first down at the 1-yard line. Handoff Avery, nice cut back inside, was met quickly by a couple of Bobcats.
Not sure if he made the first down, I don't believe.
No, he only gained about 1 or 2. We'll see where they spot it. I'll give him 1 yard.
Avery on the carry.
So 3rd and 2.
Down by Bryant.
Aiden Bryant in on the tackle, number 63, and a couple of others. Oh, we're going to go.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if the quarterback's going to roll a little bit. He's pretty mobile. And
Koopa alone on the right side, trips left. Avery the lone in the backfield. 3rd and 2 here for the Saints, near the goal line. And a timeout taken on the field by St. Thomas. We'll step aside as well. Back in a minute. Saints threatening to tie things up here. 9:32 to go in the first. Welcome back out of the Saints timeout. 3rd and 2 situation from the Bobcats 3-yard line. They'll change the formation up a little bit here. Pitch out, Avery tries to cut inside, has nowhere to go, and it's met Wally there for the tackle, and a loss of 1 on the play, and it's 4th down.
It was a nice job by Mason Hershey, actually turned that in right away. So
brought down by Matt Wally.
He could not get around. Avery couldn't get around him, and they had inside pressure. So a great play.
So boy, wouldn't this be a momentum changer if the Bobcats can hold the Saints off the board here on 4th and 3.
Well, I'm surprised they didn't run the option. I thought that looked like a play that might work for them, but not to give them any ideas. But
Thibault throw over the middle. It's blocked and broken up in the turnover on downs. Huge stop there defensively for the Bobcats.
Bobcat football.
Nice job stopping on that. Defensive guys get their hands up, and there was the pass was a low throw anyway, and they got a hand up and hand on it, and Bobcats now have got they got 95 yards to go, I think.
96. We'll give them 96 there. So 1st and 10 Bobcats from their own 4-yard line.
They might run the same play again. I
If
don't
it
know.
works, why not?
We'll run it till they stop it, right?
Handoff here from Sanborn, and this time it's the likes of Brody Russo across the 10. They'll give him, we'll see, 9 on the carry.
Down by Reyes.
And they're doing the quick offense here, the hurry-up offense.
Give some breathing room. Handoff right side. Valenti cuts back up across the 20, still on his feet, and he'll be tripped up across the 25.
That offensive line is making some great holes for him.
Carry. Brought down by Tito.
Handoff up the gut. Gain of maybe 3 for the Bobcats. There's Valenti on the carry once again. They'll give him 2.
Valenti on the carry.
7:55 and counting here in the first. 7-0 Plymouth. Took them 13 seconds to score. Cooper Legacy subbing out. Eli Bargwin in as a wide receiver here. Bargwin, top of your screen. Sun coming out now after the rainy morning we had.
They're in their speed sweep formation, motion coming in.
Back inside, it's Taylor Russo, and he'll get a first down out to the 40.
That inside trap works nicely. It spreads things out a little bit, and there was a great hole there for him.
Taylor Russo.
And they've run that a lot here in the last 3 weeks, going back to that Sauhegan game, what has the fumble and the turnover. Worked well for them last week at Merrimack Valley. I think they're just trying to clean that up going into the postseason.
Well, that trap was a little different than it wasn't the double handoff. Like they've had trouble with that a couple of times this year. That one came right from the quarterback. We used to call it 27 or 23 back in the day. But it's an inside trap, and with one exchange, it's a little less opportunity to make a mistake.
1st and 10 from the 40 for the Bobcats. Quarterback keeper here in the shotgun for Sanborn. He'll get about 4 or 5 on the carry.
Sanborn on the keeper.
They'll give him 5.
That'll bring up 2nd and 5.
So it feels like it's going to be a high-scoring affair today, Coach, the way these offenses have run so far.
Well, nobody's stopping much.
Usually helpful, yes.
I guess as long as you make the stops when you need to make the stops, as Plymouth did down in the red zone, that's all that really matters. They can do all they want from 20 to 20.
Pressure coming from St. Thomas with the blitz. Little floater out to the screen right side and dragging for a first down there for the Bobcats.
Cooper Mack.
That was Cooper Mack.
That's the first time we've seen that tight end screen, naked screen in the backside. Well executed, well run. It was a nice call.
We saw St. Thomas jump 3 or 4 guys into the box and in the line of scrimmage at the last second on that motion. So Plymouth really scouting well, as they always do. 1st and 10 across midfield at the Saints' 48-yard line. Logan Marsh lined up at the top of your screen, 3 wide receiver set. Cornerback, or no, correction, that's off to Ciotti there at the 40. And he'll get 8 on that carry.
Ciotti with the carry.
They fooled me there a little bit there, Coach.
Well, I think either way, I think Sanborn would have had a number of yards as well if he'd kept it. But that's what you want to do, is you want to show them different looks in that, and then they've got to worry about who's got the ball with a good fake. Good fake is as good as a block, as long as you hold the guy in place where he can't make a decision.
Win is going right to left across your screen into the face of the Bobcats. 2nd and 2, handoff inside, and a first down and more for Plymouth. And another big run there for Ciotti.
Brought down by Cressy.
Is that Ciotti or Valenti? I don't know. Oh, it's Valenti. My apologies.
I wasn't going to help you.
No, it's okay. I didn't bring
because I didn't see it either. But it looks like the Plymouth line is winning the battle for right now, and they're doing a nice job in there, making a lot of holes. Plymouth's really chewing up some time and chewing up some ground. It's Plymouth's kind of game.
4 minutes to go, first quarter. Bobcats chugging along down the field, trying to go 96 yards. Sanborn, quarterback keeper, going to roll out to his left, and he will trip out of bounds at about the 27.
Sanborn on the keeper.
So they'll give him 4 on the quarterback keeper.
And that was another look out of that formation in that play, because 9 times out of 10 he would have handed that ball off, but he kept that one, which was great. Because, the more you can give the defense to think about, you don't want defenses to think. And if you can make them think and stop and decide which way to go, you've already got them. You're halfway there.
We'll get Royce back in here at the end of this drive and see what he's hearing down the sideline and what his takeaways are as well. Marsh in motion, Sanborn step backs, throws a little dumper to Legacy, shakes off one tackle, trying to hop free from another, and is finally tackled at the 10. A lot of strength there from Legacy.
It's great play action on that, and he's been wide open in that route all season long. I think that they could have used that a little more, maybe with Sauhegan, would make a difference, but they used it very well then, and Plymouth's on the march again.
Officially first and goal from the 10-yard line. Plymouth would love to cap off this drive here after getting the stop on 4th down, trying to go 96 yards. Handoff right side. And maybe a yard or two. Saints defense holding well there.
So nice stop by Brandon Scourin, sophomore, number 44.
Logan Marsh on that carry. Inside handoff again. Bobcats trying to work in, and Ciotti's in for the Bobcat touchdown.
Touchdown, Bobcats.
Just muscling his way in.
A little tush push there, actually. Kind of a,
Scored by number 27, Damo Ciotti.
you know, we've been seeing that ever since I believe the Eagles were the ones that kind of coined that.
Correct.
And, I think we're seeing a lot of teams kind of follow suit with that. It's that's not quite the same, but the idea is you got them standing up, you can keep pushing them until they blow the whistle.
Stone here for the extra point attempt. And he got all that and more, and a 14-0 lead. Bobcats and Royce, what are your takeaways from that drive, and what are you hearing on the sideline?
Well, my rechargeable hand warmer died, so now my hands are cold. Bryson Stone is 2 for 2 on extra points. And really, the Bobcats' running game is unstoppable, it seems like. Only I noted a couple passes from Kevin Sanborn, and the rest were just rushes. So whatever's working is clearly working for the Bobcats on the run game, and a lot of communication, yelling from the sidelines out to those Bobcat players. Back up to you guys.
Thanks, Royce. And yeah, tough for you there, losing. You said you charged it too, the hand warmer, and yet now here you are. It's a tough one.
Just don't electrocute yourself, okay? When they say light it up, we don't mean that.
Don't mean literally. 14-0 Bobcats. Here, still under 2 minutes to go, first quarter. Great crowd on the hillside here. This regular season finale. Little chip shot from Stone. Gathered up at the 33. And I believe that was Evan Reyes, the junior, who fell on it, number 10. So the Saints offense will go to work for the second time today, coming up just short of tying this game, and now they trail by 14. So it kind of has that feel already, Mike, that it might be you need to score at least some points here.
Well, they've got to sustain something going on here. Plymouth shuts them down again and puts another one in the first half. There's the jump. There's
a lot of confusion. Everyone, there was no flag. They still got the snap off for the Saints. Avery found it and the handoff and goes, oh boy.
Well, if we replayed that, you would have seen the defense. They do a shift. Tom Lamb does this all the time, and their left guard jumped. And so I don't know how the heck they missed that, but that was just obvious.
Well, nevertheless, Avery gets 2 yards, so positive yardage there for the Saints. They'll go trips left here.
I'm going to watch that when I get home because that looked pretty obvious.
Everyone stopped for a second, too, expecting a whistle. In the shotgun. Tibbo. Deep throw, finds his target. It's Bailey White, the sophomore, across the 40. Wow.
Well, and that's what Plymouth's got to tighten up on that. I mean, he was wide open. You had a free safety back there, and he should have been looking to see who was in his area and to get over there. But you know, this is what has been Plymouth's downfall this year, if anything, is been inconsistency in the secondary. Some days they play like champs, and some plays they don't. So they've really got to get more consistent on that, especially coming to playoff time.
33 seconds, a chance for probably 1, maybe 2 more plays if the Saints want to. 1st and 10 in Bobcat territory at the 38. Thibault throws out the screen to the left side. Avery has some running room and gets tackled right by the sticks. It'll be close.
And again, naked screen to the backside, well executed.
Brought down by Legacy.
He'll be shy. It'll be 2nd and 1, and St. Thomas going to let the clock run out here. So we hit the end of the first quarter here from Plymouth Regional High School. Bobcats score early, score often, have a 14-0 lead after 1. Back in a moment, you're watching Bobcat football here on Pemmy Baker TV. Back here to start the second quarter. Dan Salzer alongside Mike Courier. Royce Preventure, our sideline reporter here today. 2nd and 1 for the Saints in Bobcat territory. Handoff, Avery, a big run up the middle. Had lots of room, will get 4 and a Saints first down.
Avery on the carry. Brought down by Legacy.
Get Cooper Legacy in for the tackle. So now 1st and 10 from the Bobcat 25.
We're looking at trips right, back in the shotgun.
Thibault going to throw out a little floater. Dangerous pass. That one falls. It should be incomplete. Officials see that all the way, and it'll be 2nd and 10.
Thibault's pass is incomplete.
That was great coverage. I believe that was Marsh.
Was indeed Logan Marsh, number 15.
Great coverage, and he put a lick on him that jarred the ball loose. So nice job in the secondary on that one.
Reyes and Sanchez at the bottom of your screen. Offset eye. Avery bouncing to the right side, and it's Cooper Legacy again, wrapping up for a tackle, a gain of 2 yards on the rush.
Great job by Legacy. He's got good lateral movement, got good speed, and he's a strong kid. So he did a very nice job keeping that as short as it was, because there were some yards to be picked up if he hadn't made that tackle.
So Cam Magoon checking back in for Plymouth. 3rd and long. Thibault in the shotgun. 4 wide receivers, trips to his left, throw over the middle, finds Sanchez. He'll be, that's incomplete. I thought he had it, lost his eye on it.
Slant pass, he was wide open too. He threaded the needle. It was a nice pass, and the receiver just dropped it.
Had the step. I think he was already looking upfield before he made that catch.
Well, yeah, he could have been looking to see what was coming at him, because he may not have been by himself for too long on that. But and this Robbie Thibault throws a nice ball. He's only he's a junior, I believe.
Yes. Yeah. So 4th down here for the Saints. They're going to go for it again. They're 0 for 1 on the conversions. Fumbled on the snap through Thibault's hands. And Legacy, man on the spot, and a turnover on downs at the Saints 40. Or the Bobcat 40, I should say.
That was not a bad snap from center. I think he turned his head for a split second and misjudged the ball, but it was about waist high, and it looked as if he was looking to the right a little bit when the ball came back, or maybe on the count, I don't know. But nevertheless, it's advantage for Plymouth, who now has the ball, and they've, I wouldn't say dodged the bullet, but they certainly stopped the drive.
So with that, Plymouth will take over on their own 40-yard line. Here, 10:30 to go, second quarter. Bobcats leading 14-0. Sanborn under center. Motion coming. Gonna look to air it out deep. Looking for Stone, and about a yard too long, merely off the fingertips of Bryson Stone.
Sanborn's pass is incomplete, intended for Stone.
Seen Plymouth run that play a few times this year.
Well, they run it a lot. Sometimes it's a big play, but more than not, it's not.
So we'll bring up 2nd and 10. Russo in motion, hand up the middle, good avoidance. Second late hit coming in, but Valenti will get, looks like 4 or 5. We'll give him 4. 3rd and reasonable here for the Bobcats. Pardon the sound of our shotgun mic falling out of the window. Plymouth will break the huddle.
We haven't seen the speed sweep yet. They haven't made the handoff, so I'm not sure. St. Thomas is spread out pretty wide. It kind of takes that away. There's your inside trap again.
Yeah, right to Cooper Legacy. He's going to be short by about a yard.
Legacy on the carry.
I think they'll be going for it.
Brings up 4th down.
Right at the 49.
This is where I personally like to see the quarterback under the center and do on first sound.
Ooh.
You know, you get underneath you get everybody set up, and on first sound you go. You know, the defense isn't really expecting it. The offense knows it's coming, so nobody jumps offside, and it's too quick to get offside. So
Saints pack the box, trying to protect against just that. Handoff here, right side, and a first down and more for Plymouth. Tebow had the tackle, but it's Ciotti with a first down carry.
Ciotti's getting a lot more time on the field too last year and today. I mean, last game and today. And he's a nice little running back. He does a good job.
Hurry up offense for Plymouth once again. Russo, left side, shakes off one, has one to beat. It's against Tebow, shakes him free down the sideline and dives in for a Bobcat touchdown.
It's a great run.
46 yards to the house.
Great run. He took on the quarterback who was playing safety and did a nice job taking him on, but he didn't get to his legs, so he was able to stay up and tiptoed down the sideline and dove in for the touchdown. So great run.
Stone will go for the extra point, and Plymouth just a really solid first half offensively. And a beautiful kick from Bryson Stone makes it 21-0 Plymouth. And had a chance to talk with some of the players over the last couple of weeks. Plymouth bringing in a kicking coach for Stone, and it's shown the last 2 weeks for sure.
That's great because, you know, we can see early on that he had a really good foot, but he was inconsistent. And in general, you really need to have somebody that knows what they're doing to work with the kickers. And the kicker needs to spend time doing it because it's repetitions. It's like anything, whether it's a foul shot or a golf shot or kicking. The more you do it, the more consistent you get, the better you get at it. But no, he's done a phenomenal job, I think, over the last few weeks. He's been right on the money on the extra points. And we saw him drill a 41, I don't know, was it a 40-yarder?
41-yarder, yep.
So he's certainly got the leg.
Royce, what have you been hearing from the players and the coaches on the sideline here so far in the first half?
Yeah, the players are extremely pumped up on the sideline so far, just rallying amongst themselves. Coaches seem to be pretty happy with how the Bobcats have been playing overall, and as you can hear behind me, they are hyping up the defense. So, you know, I expect a lot more of the same, and I expect me to get even more colder today.
Thank you, Royce. We'll check in with you at least one more time here before the half.
The English teacher in me says more cold, not more colder.
Little squib kick here, a high bouncer. Saints are just going to fall on it, and they'll take over at their own 34. Not taking any chances, and Plymouth not sending it deep.
Well, I still think that St. Thomas has got the speed and the athleticism to score big plays. Quarterback has got great feet, throws the ball well. I'm surprised they don't do more rolling out with him where he's got the option to do pass or run.
Well, Saints will go to that pro set right now in the shotgun. Handoff Avery. Is tackled and pulled down by Legacy and a couple of other Bobcats. Legacy was kind of sitting there waiting for him. They'll give him 5 on the run. Same formation, St. Thomas now. And the hurry-up offense down 3 scores. Quarterback keeper, Tebow, runs right into Brody Russo, but it should be enough for a first down where they spot this. And it will indeed be a Saints first down.
Tebow on the keeper.
Oh, they've spotted back for wait a minute.
Brody Russo.
Well, it looks like a first.
Well, they are going to give it to him.
First down, no matter where they spot it. It looks like they're giving him a first down.
They are giving him a first down at the Saints 44. They had it further ahead, then they moved the spot back, and the chains are already moving, so they just went with it. Low snap, pitch out. Avery gets towards the edge, has to go up against Marsh, and Marsh trips him up. Tackle just over midfield.
Avery on the carry.
We'll give Avery a rush of 6.
Brought down by Marsh.
Approaching 7 minutes to go, second quarter. Bobcats a little out of position defensively. Now they'll get set. Ball spotted right at midfield. Another handoff inside for Avery. He'll be in Bobcat territory right by the sticks again. And St. Thomas is getting 5 yards of carry at the moment. Another Saints first down.
First down, Saints.
If you're a St. Thomas fan, you'd love to see them get some points here before the break. And nowhere to go. Taylor Russo against Avery. He might get back to the line of scrimmage.
Nobody touched Taylor. He wrapped him up in a bear hug and took him down.
Avery on the carry. Brought down by Taylor.
A fun one so far here in week 9. Again, we'll bring you some of the scores from Friday night at the end of halftime. Debo looking over the middle, finds his receiver there in Reyes, and he'll be tackled inside the 40 near the first down. They'll give him 9 on that reception.
Nice little pass play. He came down underneath the linebackers. Linebackers dropped. He came in underneath at about 5 to 6 yards, made the catch. He was wide open and close to the first down. A lot of times those shallow crossing patterns are wide open because either everybody's dropping deep or they're dropping to the outside, and they've got that middle spot short that's wide open.
3rd and 1. High formation for the Saints. Fullback handoff, and nowhere for the likes of Scourin to go. Looks like he's going to lose a yard.
Reno on the carry. Brought down to the backfield by Bryant.
Aiden Bryant with a great hit on that.
Brings up 4th
Stop
down.
forward motion.
So 4th and 2. Saints 0 for 2 on 4th down conversions this afternoon. They're going to go for it again, trailing by 21. 4:26 and counting. We'll see if St. Thomas decides to take a timeout. They've got 2 remaining. That kind of looks like was what they're going to do.
Well, they're letting the clock run down.
They have said they're just hanging out here for the timeout.
I don't know why they're doing that, you know.
Well, Timeout on the field. We'll step aside as well. 4:15 remaining in the second quarter. Bobcats up 21-0. Here we go. 4th and 2, Saints. Back out of their second charge timeout. Quarterback or here on the Wildcat for Avery. Flag comes in the backfield. He'll be stopped short of the line to reach.
I think you'll see the hold is the call, and he didn't reach the first down marker, so Plymouth will just take the ball, decline the penalty.
Wait for the official word here. And it is, so it will be declined. Turnover on downs, as expected. And
great job. Well, great job chasing that down.
For holding on St. Thomas has been declined. First down, Bobcats.
So the Bobcats will take over at their own 37 and have moved the ball pretty efficiently here today, Mike.
They've done a good job. They're not making mistakes, and they're controlling the ball, and they're running at will. The line is doing a great job. They're winning the battle in the trenches for sure.
A Bargwin, the wide receiver at the bottom of your screen, just out of frame. Handoff, Valenti going to roll out to the right side and more. Tiptoeing out at the 46. They'll give him 9 on the rush. Again, Valenti, the senior here on Senior Day and Bobcat Nation Day, didn't really play much last week at all. Just a couple of rushes in the first quarter, and is having himself a day.
Well, this is the time of the year you don't want to take any unnecessary chances. You want everybody healthy going into the playoffs because it is the second season. And Ben seems to be doing a great job today, and he seems to be healthy, so we want to keep it that way.
Sanborn going to step back and throw over the middle. Finds Valenti at the 49, enough for a first down. Under 4 minutes to go, second quarter.
You know, the fullback often is not covered on a lot of plays where he goes out of the past the line of scrimmage. I recall a championship game down in UNH. I think Chris's maybe last state championship where we had Garrett Maycumber, who took a fake up the middle, delayed, and then went to the left, and he was all by himself in the end zone, and quarterback just found him and lights out.
Sanborn will be in the shotgun. Gonna look to pass deep over the middle of Bargain, wide open, catches it at the 21 and tackled at the 15. Oh my, he was waiting for that one.
He was a little bit behind him, but I mean, he was so far open. Sanborn was able to get it to him, but Sanborn throws a nice ball. He just needs a little more distance on it, let him run under it. But that was a great pass, great catch, and Plymouth's knocking on the door again with 3 minutes left in the half.
35-yard catch there for a Bargwin. 1st and 10 Bobcats inside the red zone. 3:08 and counting. Marsh with the quarterback snap there and rolling inside of the Bobcats. Enough for a first down. Nice job there by Russo.
Valenti on the carry.
Or correction, Valenti.
Yeah.
So it makes it 1st and goal, but Logan Marsh playing quarterback there. Officially listed second on the depth chart. Sanborn is back in. Love the youth football game we have going on the other end zone right now.
That hasn't changed since I was a kid, which was a long time ago.
Handoff inside, Russo rolling back in. He'll be tackled at about the 1. 2nd and goal coming up.
You know, they don't allow it here at the Plymouth High School field, but D&M Park, when we played down there at halftime, it was all little kids out there, and it was great because you had a crowd cheering and all these little kids running around tackling each other with no pads or anything. Nobody ever got hurt. I mean,
that we know of, that anyone cared about back in the day. Second and goal from the 1. Bobcats have been controlling offensively all afternoon. Handoff Valenti, and he will walk in for a Bobcat touchdown.
Touchdown, Bobcat.
Ben's having a heck of a day today. Big, strong running back. Did a nice job.
Valenti.
So 1:23 to go in the half. Bobcats looking to add the extra point and go up by 28.
I'll tell you, Dan, I really didn't expect this much of a difference in the first half. I thought that St. Thomas would come out here, and I know they've got people that can score. And you look at some of the scores, and they've beaten some teams pretty soundly. But today it's just not working for them, and Plymouth's just playing a great game.
Well, we're going to have a false start on the offense here on the kicking team. So we'll back it up and give Stone a little bit more of an effort for the extra point. Be a 25-yard attempt. As the kick is drilled, that one would have been good from about 45. And Plymouth now with a 28-0 lead. Royce, we'll send it down to you one more time. What are your biggest takeaways here in the first half?
Well, the Bobcats' running game has been so efficient. When Kevin Sanborn has needed to throw the ball and stepped up, he absolutely has. But also for the Bobcats' defense, they have stood strong. Now on the other side for St. Thomas, it's about those fourth down conversions. They're trying to go for it on fourth down, but they just can't seem to find a good rhythm. So whatever adjustments at halftime are going to be needed are going to need to revolve around that fourth down production. Back up to you guys.
Thank you, Royce. We'll check back in with you at the end of halftime and see what you get from stats and what you can gather from both coaching staffs if they're willing to talk with you. Lars Preventure, our intern at Pemmy Baker TV here this year for our sports coverage. Again, short kick, bobbled around but gathered back up and tackled at the 39 there. A short return of about 3 or 4 yards. Good effort coming from Josh Kupka. So a minute 17 for the Saints to work with. Trying to get on the board here before the halftime break.
Well, because you're playing catch-up football, St. Thomas will probably be throwing the ball a lot more come second half. And you can either score big or you can throw interceptions. And when you're trying to catch up, it makes it a little more difficult for you to be in control, so to speak.
Tebow, all sorts of time in the pocket, finds his receiver in Sanchez across the 25.
Beautifully thrown football, and that's the kind of thing that makes me think, boy, these guys can score. But thus far, Plymouth has maybe bent, but they haven't broken.
A 39-yard reception for Sanchez. 1st and 10, just outside the red zone. Saints having some life. Tebow slips a little bit, goes for the end zone, and it's broken up, nearly intercepted. Great coverage from Matt Valenti, the junior.
That was a great job by Matt Valenti. He was a little bit behind him. The ball was in the air. He was able to turn and got his hand in there. The guy got behind him, but Valenti's also got pretty good size.
Yeah, he's come in here listed at 6 feet, 165.
Nice play on that. Quarterback had a guy in the flat that was uncovered, but obviously he was looking for big six.
Handoff, Avery as Cooper Legacy tries to ride his back to take him down, and Avery carries him for 7.
Ride him like a bronc. Ride him like a bronc.
That's exactly what that was.
Brought down by Legacy.
3rd and 3.
He had that 8-second count.
30 seconds to go in the half. That's a broken play. Tebow escapes, though, from Libby and gets hammered out of bounds, and a late flag comes in.
That did not help him.
It's going to be an automatic first down for sure. Plymouth's just got to be disciplined, knowing when the play is dead. Stops the clock with 22 seconds.
Well, you know, we had a young player who was very, very good. He was one of 3 brothers that played football for us, and I guess you remember him in Hanover hitting a kid about 3 yards out of bounds, and he did it a lot. Now he's special ops in the military, so
Fair
I'm
enough.
thinking that, you know,
It worked out. Nevertheless, dead ball personal foul, 1st and goal for the Saints at the 6. Tebow getting some separation. It's intercepted by the Bobcats. Chance here for Legacy down the right side across midfield. Has one to beat, but they say he stepped out at the 43. Cooper Legacy with an interception on the doorstep, and that's how the first half is gone for the Bobcats. But there is a flag down in the backfield here.
Well, that was a great pick by Cooper Legacy. It was...
It looks like it's going to be against Plymouth. We see Coach Sanborn out there furious with one of the officials.
Can't imagine Coach Sanborn getting furious.
No.
Big interception by number 38, Cooper Legacy.
It looks like it's first down for, well, they got 9 seconds left.
So they're going to put Plymouth back at the 15. But nevertheless, the interception will stand, and Plymouth will probably just take a knee here with 9 seconds remaining. So Cooper Legacy, have yourself a good first half of play.
Absolutely, it was a great pick. I watched the quarterback who's standing in the pocket. When he's down that close, I would have thought they would roll him out and give him the option to throw or run. It's a more high percentage pass if you throw it, and you've always got your feet under you. And number 2 is a good quarterback. He throws the football well, and he runs well. But they didn't, and the deal is the deal.
Well, that does it for the first half of play. Plymouth leading 28-0, and really the only negative you can have for Plymouth right now, Mike, is the secondaries have struggled. There's been some big plays giving up. Nothing against St. Thomas. They're a really strong offense. We've seen that time and time again this year. But that's really the only negative I can see for Plymouth.
Yeah, and I think right now that the players of the game are the offensive line for Plymouth, because they have made so many great holes to run through. I'm not sure how many yards Plymouth's got on the ground, but they're just rolling all over St. Thomas right now. And, you know, when you can control the ball like that from tackle to tackle, going straight ahead, and you got guys with some decent speed that can break the long one, you know, you're going to be hard to stop. And you're up 28 points, and again, second half, we're going to be looking at St. Thomas is going to come out winging the ball. And that's where you can make a lot of mistakes as well. So when you're forced into one-dimensional football, that's difficult.
We'll go back down to Royce one more time. Royce, what have you got to add before we go to break?
Well, I also think for halftime adjustments, as we just saw from St. Thomas, is going to be, again, more about red zone productivity. It was picked off, and, well, that's really all to add is what adjustments will St. Thomas need to make. Anyways, back up to you guys. Enjoy the break.
Thank you, Royce. Great job here in the first half as we have the youth on the field at halftime. We'll be back in about 15 minutes. Try to get some stats for you from the first half of play. But at the break, it's Plymouth 28, St. Thomas 0. You're watching Bobcat football here on Pemmy Baker TV. All right, so welcome back, fans, here on Pemmy Baker TV. Dan Salzer with Mike Courier, Royce Preventure on the sideline. Plymouth with a 28-0 lead at the break, and we send it down to Royce. And Royce, what were you able to find out at halftime?
Well, with Valenti having 2 touchdowns, Dom Ciotti and Brody Russo also having a touchdown, Bryson Stone 4 for 4 on extra points, and the Bobcats defense standing strong. And it's mainly been the rushing game that's worked out for the Plymouth Bobcats this afternoon. And I'm so cold on the side of St. Thomas. Offensively, they have been good. They've gotten some good passes over the middle. It's just been their red zone production, and on 4th downs, they have not been too sound. So I'm curious to see what adjustments they made. And while you guys are nice and warm up there in the booth, I'm going to stay right down here. Back up to you guys.
Thank you, Royce, as we lose our feed a little bit with you and get everything else figured out up here. You know, weather's wreaking havoc on everything, so no big deal. There we go. We're back underway with our camera across the way. Thank you to Glenn Mousoff. Just switching out the battery for our transmitter. But at the break, again, Coach, 28-0 Plymouth. And really, what can St. Thomas do in your eyes here to chip away at this Bobcat lead going into the second half?
I think they've got to go to their strength, which I think the quarterback is good. They've got some good receivers, good running backs. I think they need to stay out of the tackle straight ahead stuff, do the corners, throw the football. They're in a position now where they've got to score 4 or 5 times in order to win today, and Plymouth can't score any. So I think that unless they start throwing the ball and making things happen, St. Thomas is going to be taking a long drive home at the end of the game. But that remains to be seen.
Well, Plymouth kicking off right to left across your screen. A short one. It will stay in play. Avery's going to fall on that at his own 26. And that's where St. Thomas offense will go to work to start the second half. Take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard at some of the games that happened around the state. Souhegan with a 35-0 win against Hollis Brookline back on Thursday night for that special game. A lot of Halloween games as well. Conval falling 24-29 against John Stark at home. Manchester West on the road, that very low-scoring defensive battle, 6-3 win over Hanover. Pelham on the road at Milford, 33-6 win there. As we get here on this first play from scrimmage, dumped out incomplete. It will be waved off on the drop there from Avery.
Well, I think that was a good call. If the receiver had caught the ball and run, they would have picked up some yardage on that. But I think that's the kind of thing they've got to do. You got to spread Plymouth out, get one-on-one with them in order to move the ball.
Look at some other scores. We see that Trinity knocked off Bow at Bow, 47-20. Trinity will win the East Conference of Division II. As Kingswood knocked off Kennett at home 35-7. 2nd and 10. Handoff. Avery dives forward, still on his feet, breaks a couple of tackles, and gets 11 yards on the ground.
Nice run by Avery. And Avery's got some pretty good speed. He hits the hole low, good forward lean, and he looks like if he could break it, he could outrun the Plymouth defenders.
Last game from last night in Division II, Merrimack Valley on the road at Pembroke, 53-20 for the Pride. 1st and 10 here, Saints. Trying to find some momentum here on the road. Tebow with pressure, dumps it off, and Avery's hit right away, incomplete.
Mr. Crane.
It is
Crane.
Simeon Crane, right on time, perfect timing on the hit to break up that pass. So you wonder what was said at halftime here, Mike.
Well, Simeon's in now at starting with the defense, so he's got some substitutes in there already. But Simeon's a player. He is good nose for the ball, great coverage on that, and a great hit.
Sticking with that pro formation. Tebow, flag on the play, throws over the middle, through everybody. But we do have a flag down at the line of scrimmage on the far side of the field.
It was pretty quick, too, so I wonder if that was a motion penalty or... Yeah, procedure.
Yep. Plymouth's going to decline. It's going to bring up 3rd down. So Saints trying to get the right personnel matchup. They're going to go trips right. Avery the lone in the backfield. Good pass protection. Tebow throws over, short, and it's nearly intercepted again. It would have been Valenti's first interception of the season, but nevertheless, it's 4th down.
Well, Matt has made a couple of great defensive plays. One in a long pass in the end zone that he batted down, and that one right there. So he's had himself a good game today.
So Plymouth gonna get the stop and force St. Thomas to punt for the first time today if they decide to do so. Unless we have some trickery here.
Trick or treat. I don't know.
I know my kid got away with some good stuff. High snap over the head of the punter, and it's fumbled and recovered by Plymouth at the 6. Oh, everything falling apart, unfortunately, for St. Thomas.
Well, it looks like the wheel fell off the wagon on that one, but unfortunately.
I believe it was Messiello was trying to punt it away. It was a high snap well over his head. But it's going to be 1st and goal Plymouth. They're going to mark it at the 7.
Well, either way, if he had just fallen on it, it would have been Plymouth ball because that was 4th down. So either way, Plymouth would have the ball where they have it now.
So Plymouth looking to pad their lead a little bit more. Double shift to the right.
He's got
Quay in a quarterback, and he throws it, or correction, that is Sanborn. Throws an interception in the end zone. And intercepted there from the likes of Braden Sanchez, the senior. And he just gets out to the 1, and
Well, he had his man wide open in the end zone, and he just didn't get his feet set quick enough and deliver the football. It would have been 6 points, but because he delayed a little on that pass, it gave them time to recover, and it was a pick. But that was a touchdown all the way.
It was, but Saints needed that stop. Now they'll have to go 99 yards, but at least they keep Plymouth off the board. A lot of confusion right now on the defensive setup. Matt Valenti sprinting in. St. Thomas comes out unscathed. Handoff Avery trying to get some breathing room. He'll get about 4 out to the 5. And a whistle as a Saints player is down, and
Avery on the carry.
quickly back up is Avery. He's the one that drew that whistle. So he will have to sit out at least to play. Probably just got the wind knocked out of him.
Yeah, fortunately he's not hurt. It doesn't look like he's hurt. As he trotted off the field on his own power, so that's a good sign.
Well, 2nd and 6. St. Thomas with some breathing room. Tebow under center. Handoff, delayed rush. Couple of yards there for St. Thomas. Good work for Scourin.
Carlo on the carry. Brought down by Matt Wally.
So 3rd and 4 for the Saints. Play action.
He's wide open over
the middle. Sanchez at the 30.
Wide open.
Cross midfield. Still on his feet. Oh, spinning a couple of times. And is tackled across the Bobcat 35.
He was wide open on a post pattern over the middle. And again, the offensive line for St. Thomas has given the quarterback time to throw. That had to develop, and they ran a post pattern, and he was wide open.
A 62-yard pass for Sanchez. 1st and 10 Saints. Needing to go quickly, down by 4, and a flag on the snap.
I think we had some motion here on the offense.
That is exactly what it is.
Saints penalty for 12 men on the field.
Oh, 12 men on the field. Too many men on the field there for
Okay.
St. Thomas.
Okay.
So back him up 5, the 1st and 15. Debo going to throw out to the flat right side. Avery back in after being knocked out for a play, and he will get about 16, if not more, and enough for Saints first down at the 21.
It looked like a little bit of a horse collar over there
Yeah.
on the sideline. And but that was, he just hit the guy in the flat and let him run one-on-one. And actually, there was nobody covering the flat area.
The referees, there is a flag down. I see it now. We're on the far side of your camera in the library as usual. There's a flag right down by the yard to gain marker in the sticks.
Yeah, that's going to go against Plymouth, I believe.
Yeah, face mask.
I just saw the runner's head snap, and I thought, boy, that looks like a horse collar to me.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from the Bobcat 11, and Saints trying to go 99 yards themselves here. What a big swing of momentum this would be for St. Thomas. Handoff, Avery has nowhere to go. Good work from Dylan Braley and a few other Bobcats for the tackle.
Well, I'll tell you, they're on the right hash mark, and they've got all kinds of room to the left. I'm really surprised they don't have that quarterback roll to the wide side of the field. He had 3 receivers over there, and then it's going to be tough to cover your quarterback. So let's see what they do. They've got trips again to their left.
Loss of a yard, 2nd 11. Throw in the flat. It's behind. It's a left. Oh.
Yeah, we actually have a pretty good view from here. That was a fumble.
Yeah, sideline judge there just saying incomplete pass. That's a lucky break for St. Thomas. Also, Taylor Russo had no idea that it was right by his feet. Nevertheless, 3rd and 11, St. Thomas, 8:28 to go, 3rd quarter. They're down by 4 scores.
I don't know. Maybe this is the curse of the mummy. It's Halloween time. St. Thomas did a great job getting down there, but they seem to be struggling again.
Bobbled on the snap. Tebow off balance throw is broken up. Sanchez wanted a flag because he thought he was hit early.
Very, very nice job by Brody Brousseau. He was all over him like a cheap suit.
Sanchez was already trying to signal, do the arm motion for tossing a flag even before he got off the ground, thinking he got hit early, but nothing coming. 4th and 11. Saints kind of 4-down territory the rest of the game, down 28-0. Tebow, good protection. Looking, lobs it for the end zone. Sanchez can't catch it. Was right there on the doorstep. And Plymouth comes out unscathed. St. Thomas nearly went 99 yards. Plymouth takes over and turnover on downs.
Well, I can see why St. Thomas has beaten some teams. But, I mean, if you look at the teams they've beaten, they're looking back at the total season, they're teams that they should have beaten. They did not beat Trinity. They did not beat I'm trying to think here. I had the scores down.
We'll get back to Royce after this play. 1st and 10 Bobcats deep in their own territory. They'll go in motion, handoff left side, and a couple of yards there for Plymouth. And Royce, what are you hearing on the sideline?
Well, I got to respect the coaches for the Plymouth side being very vocal, telling the backs to switch on who they're manned up on. And just overall, the vibes, there's chanting. There's a lot of noise from the players on the sideline to rally behind the Bobcats. And another 4th down conundrum for the Aquinas Saints. Back up to you.
Thank you, Royce. Again, having an ear for everything, especially right now, the whole bench sliding down to the edge of the bench area at the 25. 2nd and 7, Bobcats at their own 15. They'll go in motion again. Sanborn under pressure, lobs it up, and Avery just sitting, waiting for the interception. And this will be a pick 6 for St. Thomas as the Saints are on the board. And that blitz came, and Sanborn completely off balance, just lobbed up a prayer, and Avery answered it.
Well, Sanborn is disappointed with himself, as he should be. And quarterbacks, we hate throwing interceptions. So anytime that happens, it really ticks us off. But that one was just kind of lofted out there, like Dan was saying, and right into the hands of number 7.
2-point conversion. You're going to go with a funny-looking setup here. Low snap on the direct snap there to Sanchez, who somehow stays alive, but loses yards, and the conversion is no good.
Well, it looked like they were doing the wildcat on that. Number 4 was going to try to run the ball. But I would not be surprised if we see the onside kick. Not a lot of time. Well,
I mean, you still got the 4th quarter, but you're down still 3+ scores now with the missed conversion. Every time I see a formation like that, I just think of the Patriots versus the Colts back in the day. So 28-6 the score line now. Here from Zulius Field at Plymouth Regional High School, the foothills of the White Mountains. Wherever you're tuning in from, so glad you could join us here on Pemmy Baker TV, channel 1302. On Spectrum Cable, also live on YouTube and our digital channel as well. Find the link to our digital channel from the town website and our website page for Pemmy Baker TV. Watch all of our content free around the world 24/7. As the wind knocks the ball off the tee. And it does look like St. Thomas is lining up for onside. That's off a player, and somehow, is that Jolin, number 44, able to recover it? It was.
Yes, it was. Nice play by the youngster.
We haven't had his name called this week. One of those young players, the JV and freshman team, great running back developing, and great hands and awareness to fall on that.
Well, I think you had a hands team up front anyway, so your running backs, receivers would be the guys on the front line. I'm pretty sure Coach Sanborn expected the onside kick. I mean, based on the situation, St. Thomas wants to get the hands on the ball.
So Bobcats take over at their own 49. 7:21. A lot of blockers out in front for Brody Russo. He'll get across the 40 and a gain of 11 and an automatic Bobcat first down.
That was the first time they've run the speed sweep, and they had Valenti out in front blocking, so it was well executed and a great run. You know, Plymouth just needs to keep pounding the ball the way they are right now, run that clock down, put another touchdown on the scoreboard, and secure their victory for the day. But again, St. Thomas has got the capability to make a big play, so you want to keep the ball out of their hands.
Plymouth breaks the huddle. Stone, the wide receiver, at the top of your screen. Valenti in the backfield. Taylor Russo, handoff to him on the left side. Has some running room, breaks the gap, turns the edge, has blockers in front, and he will wiggle his way in for a Bobcat touchdown.
And that was a great downfield block by Robert Schley, the sophomore. He was downfield and made a great block for the last guy that was in.
Yeah, and that was against Kenny Avery, that last man back. So extra point attempt again for Stone. A 40-yard run there for Taylor Russo. And 4 flags in motion against Plymouth, and the false start on the snap. I mean, if they just wanted to test Bryson Stone and make sure he can continue to kick from deep, why not take some flags here on the extra point attempt? Another 25-yard attempt for him. As this one is up and good. Bobcats lead 35-6.
I'm not going to say it. It'll jinx him probably, but I don't think the last 2 weeks he's missed an extra point.
He has not.
He's really kicking the ball well.
We talked about it. Plymouth bringing in a kicking expert to work with him a couple of weeks ago, and it's showing off why. He has been Mr. Automatic right now. 6:31 remaining third quarter. Still plenty of time left here in this regular season finale. Again, Plymouth, if they can hold on for the win, will be the 3 seed in this year's playoff bracket. Depending on if there's any crazy outcomes today, we'll be hosting Kingswood next week. Squib kick up the middle. Nice snag out of the air. Bailey White hung up there all day for that one.
And it looks like final score, Plymouth State 41, Framingham State 20.
Woo!
So Plymouth State has now gone to 7-1. They're atop the MASCAC division they're in and having a great season.
Yeah, 2 more weeks to go. You've got Fitchburg next week at home to wrap up for Senior Day. Then you're at UMass Dartmouth for Plymouth State, and a really good chance to go to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2017.
That'd be great.
Oh. Debo looking, throwing, and nearly intercepted as Ciotti was waiting for that one and dropped it last second.
Debo's pass broken up by Ciotti.
They had everything covered on that, and Ciotti was in front of the receiver. And it looked like it was going to be a completion to him.
Second and 10 here for the Saints. Play action. Tebow rolling to his right. Gonna air it out, and it's intercepted by Brody Russo near midfield. He'll return it to the Saints 35, and nothing has gone well for St. Thomas except for their pick 6 a moment ago.
Well, like I mentioned earlier, Dan, you know, when you have to come from behind and you've got no choice but to throw the football, I mean, the defense is adjust. Plymouth had great coverage on that. Every receiver was covered well, and he probably should have just thrown it out of bounds because he really had nobody to throw to except the Plymouth guy. So unfortunately for St. Thomas, it's another turnover. And Plymouth's just doing a great job. They've got it cinched up pretty good right now, and I think you'll probably see them put another one in.
Royce, what do you have to add down there from the sideline?
Well, Coach Sanborn was visibly frustrated after the pick 6 that Kevin Sanborn threw. But my question is for Mike. How can the Saints defense stop this Bobcats run?
They can't.
Because down here, it's looked immaculate, but still the vibes are high. The cold is not getting to the players except for me, as I guess I'm the southern boy here. But
yeah. Well, the thing is you've got an offensive line for Plymouth that's bigger and stronger, and they're really doing a great job in the trenches, and they'll have a very difficult time stopping Plymouth's run game.
Well, that's all I have to add. You guys enjoy the
warmth.
This drive, yeah, enjoy the warmth, sure. Yeah. Well, we'll check in a little bit.
Thank you, Royce. Appreciate it as always. So timeout by the Saints. We're going to keep it right here for you. Again, everyone eyeing postseason next week. The top 8 winners of both conferences and the next best 6 based off points and ranking make the postseason. And it's now going to be the road to Pinkerton, Mike. That's where the state championship's going to be for Division II this year.
Great. Well, I like Pinkerton.
Great school, great field.
And great football coach down there. He's a Plymouth State guy.
Handoff Ciotti left side, and he's going to drag a boatload of boys forward for another Bobcat first down.
I'll tell you, that offensive line, they pulled 2 or 3 on that, and kind of like the kitchen sink, and that thing just rolled forward.
Plymouth and the hurry-up offense. Sanborn rolling out to his right. Pressure in front, able to get the throw off, and it's intercepted right into Avery's hands again inside the 10. Returns it towards midfield, has a couple of Bobcats to beat, and a big return inside the Bobcat 40. Sanborn with 3 interceptions, 2 big ones here today.
Well, St. Thomas had everybody covered pretty well, and probably was a ball that shouldn't have been thrown. But hey, that's the way it goes sometimes.
I feel like it looks like that's a Dart helicopter, so hopefully whoever's in that is okay. So we have a flyover here in the third quarter. But we 1st and 10, St. Thomas. Mike, do you feel that this is Plymouth just trying to iron out their passing game going into the postseason?
No, I don't.
This throw is incomplete, intended for Reyes.
That just wasn't a good choice. I mean, people were covered, and I think sometimes you have receivers, you think that, throw the ball in there and your guy's going to come up with it. But on that one, everybody's covered pretty well, and that was one of those deals where, and it's hard for a quarterback to get used to the idea of throwing it out of bounds. I haven't been a quarterback. I never wanted to throw it out of bounds. I always wanted her to complete the pass. So, I think that, Mr. Sanborn is a young guy, and he's going to learn a lot from that. But I think that's one of those where he should have just aired it out of bounds.
Tebow looking over the middle, finds his receiver in Sanchez. And Russo rips him down. Get about 5 or 6 where they spot it. They'll give him 6. So 3rd and short. You go with a split twins here. Debo over the middle, through the hands of Sanchez, and incomplete.
He threw that behind him. He was open over the middle of that shallow 5 to 7 yard come across the middle, but he threw that behind him. Otherwise, he'd have had the first down.
Under 5 to go, third quarter. 4th down and 4. St. Thomas is not converted on a 4th down here today.
4th down, Bobcat fans. Let's hear it from the hill.
Ebo, good snap here. Good pocket protection. Pressure coming late. Got hit from behind. This one's lobbed up and falls incomplete. A late blitz caused all that chaos.
Looked like duck season out there. That ball came out of his hand as he was getting hit, and it just kind of fluttered down the field. It could have been anybody's jump ball at that point. But again, Plymouth holds, and they'll have the ball, and hopefully they'll move the ball down to down the field, put another score in. Still in the third quarter with 4:48 left in the third quarter.
Now one more touchdown, we'll send it to running time. Plymouth to take over at their own 33. Russo, handoff, left side, bounces off a couple, still on his feet, and will spin forward, gain of about 6 on the carry.
That was the same play that he ran before down in the red zone where he had the 2 linemen pulling and a lot of beef in front of him.
Still great crowd here on the hillside. Again, congratulations to the seniors playing in their final regular season home game of their career. Getting recognized before coin toss and national anthem here this afternoon. Delayed handoff, and it's Taylor Russo, and enough for a Bobcat first down and more.
And that was that trap with the right halfback coming back against the grain. It was well executed. Nice job with the handoff.
Now at the Plymouth 48. Russo again, shakes off with a stiff arm, jumps over another defender, takes the hit, and another 15-yard run there for Taylor Russo. Plymouth going in the hurry-up offense. Plymouth just relentless offensively, just giving St. Thomas's defense no time to rest. Quarterback design keeper, Sanborn cuts inside. He'll get at least 9.
Sanborn on the draw.
Nice job by Cavan on that run.
There's just so many weapons for Plymouth. Obviously some things to clean up from today before heading into the postseason. Again, Kingswood, they've got a lot of players we've seen. Despite the win for Plymouth here at home against them earlier this season, here's Valenti who will get a first down and more, and right on the edge of the red zone. But you got Agramonte, who we saw with some big catches, that Wildcat offense as well. If they can get him going, he's going to be a real threat against Plymouth next week if that ends up being the matchup. Still on the wide receiver, top of your screen. Inside handoff of the fullback for Valenti. He'll just bounce off of Avery as Avery is able to wrap up his ankle. But another first down run for Plymouth.
Brought down by Avery.
So 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line.
Plymouth just pounding away between the tackles. This is where their success has been all day, and they probably shouldn't change a thing for the next 11 yards.
Going to line up Brody Russo as a wide receiver. Fumbled on the snap, and Sanborn just falls on it to protect himself.
I think when the ball came back, it looked like Cavan picked his head up a little bit, and I think that took his eye off the ball.
Loss of 4 on the play. About a minute and a half to go, third quarter. Bobcats will break the huddle. Brody Russo again on that play. Plymouth has been running so much here today on the trap.
Brody Russo. Brought down by Dorr.
It'll be 3rd and 9. quiet hillside right now. Sanborn under center, handoff, Ciotti takes the hit at the line of scrimmage from Avery and a couple of others. He'll spin forward, and it'll be 4th down from about the 7-yard line. So 4th and 6. Plymouth's going to go for it, though, it looks like. Now they're going to let the quarter come to an end, though. We'll see if they decide to go for it or try to kick a field goal and set themselves up better for the postseason. But that will do it here for 3 quarters of play. It's Plymouth 35, St. Thomas 6. We'll be back in just a moment here on Pemmy Baker TV. We go to the 4th quarter. Royce, what was the talk about what you heard on the sideline here going into the 4th?
Staying warm, staying composed, and just really keeping it up. But the thing I had to mention earlier, which I didn't get the opportunity to add, was after Kevin Sanborn's 3rd interception of the afternoon. What looked like they were talking about was not looking anything good, something I would not want to receive a talking to about. But he managed to get it back together, and for the Bobcats now, it's just about closing out this quarter and securing, well, a good playoff spot. So back up to you guys.
Thank you, Royce. 4th and 6 here. Sanborn throws out. Russo gets hit right on the reception. And St. Thomas, I thought they picked it up. I guess it's going to be fall incomplete.
Yeah, it was an incomplete pass on that. Yeah, that was covered. They had that well covered. There was no surprise there.
I mean, the scoreline doesn't indicate how well St. Thomas has played at times here today. But a turnover on down. St. Thomas will take over from their own 7-yard line. Looks like St. Thomas, if Plymouth holds on, will be the 8th seed and going to Sauhegan next week.
Avery with the carry.
Again, Avery with that carry. No gain on that rush. First team unit still out there for the Bobcats. Tebow under center. Handoff. Avery dances away from pressure, gets to the outside, and gets absolutely popped there by Bryson Stone.
Brought down by a Bargwin.
Eli Bargwin in as well. Looks like it'll be 3rd and 5. Again, we'll wait for the final points totals and ratings at the end of today's games to get the playoff bracket. Tebow pump fake, throw over the middle, incomplete and nearly picked off. Who was it? That was Mitt Wally, who thought he should have had that. And a 4th down coming up for St. Thomas, and they're going to punt it away. Punt high, end over end, gathered up at the 40. No fair catch coming for the likes of Brody Russo, and he'll return it to the Saints 26. So short field for Plymouth to work with here. Early action, 4th quarter.
I want to correct myself on the score that I gave with Plymouth State and Framingham. That was from last year.
Yeah, whoops.
So I did see something that said Plymouth won 28-26.
I did. I just pulled up the live stats from that game, so yes.
It's still a win.
A close one, though.
So take whatever I say with a grain of salt.
1st and 10. Sanborn under center, handoff. Russo, Brody Russo across the 20, still on his feet, still going to walk in for a Bobcat touchdown.
Well, the boys needed that. They needed to put another one on the board. Pull it back together again.
Touchdown scored by number 25, Brody Russo.
So good job there for Brody Russo. We'll go for the extra point. And Stone continues to be perfect.
Money in the bank. Nice job.
Last week, did he even miss one last week? I don't think so. No, he was perfect last week, perfect this week.
And he had a field goal. Was it 2 weeks ago?
2 or 3 weeks ago, yeah.
I remember he had the first 8 points in one of the games with a touchdown reception and extra point, or 2 extra points, I think.
We'll send it down to Royce. Royce, what are you hearing over there?
Well, after the 4th down where the ball wasn't picked off for St. Thomas, Coach Lamb wanted it to be picked off, saying to one of the players that he was right there and didn't grab it. Also, some of the players on the Plymouth side did mention how I look cold. I think that's an obvious given. I do not look cold. I am cold.
This is going to be if we were able to do this next week, which we're going to try to do with having you on the sideline, it's going to be even colder. It only gets colder as November goes on there.
Well, I will be more prepared with an actual, maybe some ski pants, maybe go get my boots and be all ready for that. But again, Brody Russo out another touchdown to his stat sheet for the afternoon. We'll get it back up to you guys for the final 10 minutes.
Thank you, Royce. We'll get back to you at least one more time before we sign off here today. Kickoff out of bounds there on Plymouth, and well, can't all be perfect on the special teams here today. Or correction, it's not a kickoff out of bounds. That's call it a false start there. I missed the call, Coach. Oh, legal procedure. We'll go with that. Well, Saints have it near midfield. Just north of 10 minutes and counting. Quarterback keeper. Nice roll out there for Tebow across the 40. It's a foot race, and the quarterback is going to go to the house. St. Thomas. 54-yard quarterback keeper.
Touchdown, Saints.
Now, it was a great play, and he's definitely a mobile quarterback. He did score that against the second string. I'm just saying.
But a fantastic run, and Saints able to answer back.
Well, it just shows that he's got the capability to run. And, you know, unfortunately for them, they haven't utilized him during the previous part of the game.
And kick will be incomplete. Scoreline will be 42-12 Plymouth, under 10 minutes to go. So, Mike, if you could narrow it down to a couple of things that Plymouth needs to work on going into the postseason next week, what would they be?
Well, they got to look at their passing game, and they've got to be a little more selective in what they do. I mean, Cavan needs to not be afraid to throw the ball away. And again, I get the toughness of that. As a quarterback, you want to complete everything, but there were a couple situations today. He's thrown 3 interceptions, and you can't have that. You're not going to win doing that in the playoffs. But he's got to not be afraid to throw it out of bounds when people are covered, and you can't just assume that your guy's going to come up with the ball if you toss it up in the air. So I think that's one thing. I have liked their selection of passes in terms of what they ran for routes and whatnot. So they ran a screen, tight end screen, which was great. Hadn't seen that thus far this year.
Squib kick here. kept alive. Matt Wally able to scoop it up, try to get a return, but nothing there, and Bobcats take over at the 41. As for the Saints, it looks like they're going to be last team in as an 8-5-4 record going to Sauhegan, and we've seen what the Sabres have been able to do. What can the Saints focus on going into that matchup, if that is what it's going to be?
Well, I mean, it's they've certainly got to let the quarterback be a little more mobile, and the run pass option there. But Sauhegan's pretty tough. They're very physical. They're very fit. They got a tough line. They were able to stop Plymouth's running game for the most part. So it's going to be an uphill battle for St. Thomas all the way playing Sauhegan.
Here's Isaac Jolin now in that second team offense, getting a first down carry. Braden Guay back in at quarterback, who's had, as we said it time and time again, a very successful year, both of the freshman and JV team, and also here in relief of Sanborn in some of the bigger score line games. Jolin handoff right side, driving forward for about 6.
Jolin on the carry.
Fans starting to make their way to the cars. Okay, we'll wait for confirmation, but Plymouth will be home next week for the quarterfinal matchup. Most likely a 1 o'clock kickoff, as it's been all season long. Oh, fumble on the snap. And St. Thomas recovered.
Not sure what happened. I mean, the center quarterback exchange is incredibly important, obviously. And that may have been, the center is taught to step as he snaps the football, and the quarterback is taught to ride the butt of the center up with his hands, keep him underneath, and somewhere there they pulled apart and the ball dropped.
So St. Thomas will be back on the offense. A little bobble on the snap, hitch step coming from Tebow. He's wrapped up with nowhere to go, and a big loss there on the sack.
Big hit in the backfield by number 44, Isaac Jolin.
Jolin doing well here in relief now on this defensive side. He gets the sack, 2nd and 14. Handoff. And Bobcats were ready for that one. Scourin nowhere to go, number 44.
It's like Barrett Noyes met him first, did a nice job, number 32.
Third and long for St. Thomas here, just north of 6 minutes to go in regulation. St. Thomas getting the call from the sideline.
That is a lateral.
That is
right
absolute
there.
lateral over there, Sanchez. Sanchez throwing the spin move with a D-pad controller. He'll get back forward for about 7, but it'll be 4th and long.
Tebow complete to Sanchez.
That was a lateral all the way.
How about complete to Sanchez? Nope, that's technically a rushing play, but that's okay.
I'm actually looking right down the 40-yard line and had a very good view of that.
4th and 8. Scout will be in the backfield. Plymouth up on the pressure, trips right, bobbled on the snap again. Little sidearm pass to Scourin, number 44, and he'll get tackled across midfield and short of the sticks, and a turnover on downs. Great effort there from St. Thomas.
He got hammered on that. Bobcats were right there.
Brought down by number 80, Jackson Francis.
Jackson Francis, number 80, credited with the tackle. First time we've called his name this season. A freshman.
He's got an uncle and a dad who played for us over the past years. We're both good football players, so I think he may have a brother or two coming along as well.
Way under center. No, his sister had a hockey game today at the same time over at PSU, so his family split time here. Whether watch the beginning of the game here and then go into the hockey game. So if you guys are watching, shout out to you guys. Jolin with a loss of 1. And when Braden hits that growth spurt, he is going to be a formidable quarterback here in Division II.
I think so.
That is my prediction. I know you mentioned at the beginning of the season and the first week or two, he worked in the offseason and over the summer with the first stringers, not afraid to be called up to help with them. Gained a lot of confidence over the course of this season. Handoff up the middle, gain of about 2 for the Bobcats.
For the most part, he's handled the ball well every time we've seen him this year. There was that fumble on the snap, but that's, you try to get your quarterbacks when they're warming up to work with the centers and work with not just the starting center, but the number 2 and number 3, so you get comfortable with different stances that they have. And that one there was just a matter of he may have been pulling back too soon while the center was stepping forward on the snap. But they'll iron that out.
Closing moments here from Plymouth Regional High School. 3rd and long, handoff, right side, Simeon Crane gets enough for a Bobcat first down.
Crane on the carry.
We'll bring Royce in one more time. Royce, any final thoughts here this afternoon on what you've seen on the sideline?
Well, aside from the Bobcats dominating on the grounds, I'm still cold, so lesson learned for next week's game is to dress better. I will attempt to maybe see if there's still time for an interview following the game. Yeah, besides final thoughts, just, I guess, fix the passing game, really, just really improve that. Back up to you guys.
Thanks, Royce. We'll see if we can get Coach Sanborn for a quick couple-question interview after the game. 1st and 10 Bobcats in Saints territory. Handoff, Jolin, left side. Will cut back upfield and get about 6 on that rush. And Plymouth just kind of going through the motions right now, Mike, getting ready for postseason play.
Yeah, getting their 2s and 3s, opportunities to play real time is great. Rest your starters also. No need to have them in there at this point in time.
Plymouth will probably try to get a first down and then go into victory formation. And it looks like they're going to do that. Well, Gray trying to set up his receiving core. Handoff. This time it's Wesley Sanborn, number 14 on the carry.
Wesley Sanborn.
3rd and 1. And Plymouth, one more snap here will do it. So Mason Hershey checking in, number 88. So overall, a lot of interceptions against Plymouth here today, the most that we've seen all season long from Gavin Sanborn. But the Bobcats here with 5 seconds and a handoff to Hershey. Will get the first down, but that will do it as we go final here on Bobcat Nation Day as Plymouth will pick up the win and improve and wrap up the regular season at 8-1. They finished tied 8-1 with Trinity, but because of the points and the ratings for both teams, Trinity will win the Eastern Conference of Division II. Despite falling to Plymouth State earlier this year, their win over Pelham really cemented their win of the East. So they will be the 2 seeds. Sauhegan undefeated, 9-0. The Sabres will be the top seed. Plymouth will be the 3rd seed for next week's postseason tournament. And Mike, final thoughts from you. A fantastic game here today from Plymouth, and postseason, new season coming up.
Well, I think that they did a lot of good things today. They did some things that show they still need a little bit of work. Now the tough part comes with the playoffs, and any one of these 8 teams has got a chance, I think. I think Plymouth will end up probably playing Kingswood. And if that's the case, Kingswood and Plymouth had a pretty good game this year. Plymouth won 27, I think 13 or 14, and they're going to be formidable. So it's going to be not easy, but I think Plymouth, if they play their game again and don't make mistakes, they'll come out victorious.
So it doesn't look like we're going to get an interview with Coach Sanborn. We're going to send it to Royce one more time. Royce, what did you hear on the sideline?
They were happy. That's really all there was, just a lot of positive cheering, and then back to business as usual, just going into their handshake line and then the huddle. So at that, we'll send it back up to you guys to finish it off.
Thanks, Royce. Again, Royce, our intern here at PBTV this season, joining us on the sideline today and hopefully through the postseason. Thank you for your work down there and in the information you could get from the players. Any final thoughts, Mike, before we get off air here today?
Not really. I think I really do give a shout out to the offensive line, because they did a heck of a job today. They made a lot of space available for the backs to run through. The backs all ran hard. There were no fumbles on the running backs, which was great. And again, I think that Cavan just has to not be afraid to throw it away. And I understand how tough that is, but there are times when you just have to sacrifice.
So that's going to do it for us here this afternoon. So glad you could join us. For all of us at Pemmy Baker TV, with Royce Preventure, our sideline reporter here today, Mike Courier, my color commentator, as always, I'm Dan Salzer. Final score for the final time. It's Plymouth Regional 42, St. Thomas 12. Bobcats finished the season 8-1. They'll be the 3 seed. We'll find out who they will host next Saturday afternoon on Monday. So don't go anywhere. Have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you in 1 week for the postseason.